Are we live?
We are live according to
Yes.
this on all. I think we are live. All right. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to
You're live.
a special cast on free market, which is probably for any business to succeed in any environment, things have to go right. Like almost everything has to go right for anything to succeed in any environment. If even one factor goes awry, then there is liability that comes into everybody's business. So the chance of success of a business or startup is greatly reduced at this stage with each and every either factors that you may be able to control or factors that you may not be able to control. So what is it that we can do to give these kind of businesses the best chance to survive? And good businesses are, after all, the backbone of great economies all over the world. So this is like an entrepreneurial segment from Real Free Market, and I have Tushar and Pradyot, who have been working so hard on the concept of real free market for India, which is real free market. Free market is the generalized concept of how a market that is free can help a country thrive. And Real Free Market is the brand that we have all created right here. And so we would like to talk about Real Free Market. So Pradyot Kunj in the green T-shirt and Tushar in, of course, the the special edition Libertarian Party T-shirt with the big logo right up front. So, gentlemen, let's get started. So, Pradyot, could you start things off, introduce yourself, and let's try to understand a little bit more about real free market, the basics, just from your perspective on what it is.
Sure. I've been an entrepreneur. Prior to, I'm a Web3 partnerships person right now. But, prior to that, I've been an entrepreneur and um, I've kind of, felt the pinch of, why, a free market is important and why should we, strive towards, creating a free market. So basically, this whole initiative by which was basically Tushar has been the ideator. It was started because somewhere we felt that there is a need to promote communities and people who are raring to do these things, to promote them in a create a platform for them and basically to if they have an initiative which kind of solves a civic problem or a social problem, and we can provide a platform for that, and we can connect them to the right people, to VCs or anybody
So,
who likes to contribute to it. Yeah.
so real free market is specifically for social entrepreneurs, like civic entrepreneurs who are solving civic problems. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So the focus is on catering to social entrepreneurs, but yeah, we want to create a community for entrepreneurs who are not just social entrepreneurs, but who are because when you build a community large enough, network effects kick in, and some other entrepreneurs can help these social entrepreneurs, and social entrepreneurs doing things may get more limelight. They may get more coverage, just because social entrepreneurship as a category is kind of sidelined, and they only kind of depend on CSR and all of that, and that is seen as something which is not really very productive.
Right, right. So, Tushar, what is real free market's role now? I mean, of course, introduce yourself as well, since this is our first podcast on real free market specifically. So, I think we'll all start with the basics. I'm sure people would have seen both of you on other podcasts as well. I mean, like, where does the real free market fit in right now? Like, what is the ideology behind how you're going to do this?
Oh, so myself Tushar, and I'm an entrepreneur. So, my basic idea from early childhood, I have been of the view that if you have see problems, solve them on your own. Don't rely on anyone else. So entrepreneurship, natural extension to that, that you solve problems and people pay you. And then politically, I adopted that ideology of libertarianism, which basically promotes that people can solve their problems on their own, and government is not that much necessary, depending on where you are on the spectrum. So yeah, the idea behind the starting the real free market was that there are huge gaps in, like, Indian government, for all its power, isn't that well funded. So basic facilities like cleanliness, road maintenance, and things like that, waste management, those aren't that well funded. So as a result, all this poor image that we have of India, that roads are dirty, streets are not clean, education system is poor. All those are basically because the government will never have the ample funds for the number of people that we have. And when people, so I had friends who worked in NGOs and things like that, and they never amounted their efforts. Although they worked, I'm not disparaging their efforts, but still they didn't amount much to anything, because NGOs, which basically try to supplement the government's efforts in providing civic amenities, they simply have to rely on donors, and donors are much more donors and CSR, so corporate social responsibility. So they are much more interested in scoring virtue points as compared to solving the problem in a sustainable manner. And additionally, since they have no market incentive, that is to say that they don't work on profits. They have no interest in innovating and developing new techniques either. So
Right.
so it was bound to fail. Now,
Right.
where social entrepreneurship kicks in is that you try to address problems that are civic in nature, but don't take out the profit motive out of it. You may cap your profits, but you don't take the profit motive out of it. So then all these ideas keep amalgamating, and eventually the idea emerged that let's have a platform where anyone who wants to start a social entrepreneurship venture, whether he wants to fix the potholes in his area, whether he wants to work on cleanliness in his area, whether he wants to work in education, any of the things that normally the government is expected to do but can't do it because of lack of funds, and NGOs are ineffective in doing it. So this,
Okay, I have a question in this regard,
yes,
right? All right. So I'm an entrepreneur who
yes,
sees a civic issue.
yes,
Right now, there are plenty of people who seem to be building bridges on their own.
yes,
Like even recently, there are people building bridges on their
yes,
own just to get to the other side. Like
yes,
it's as
yes.
simple
The
as that.
idea, yes,
But so
yes, yes.
how would somebody like that come and now interact with real free market? How would one go about doing that?
Yeah, the idea was that let's create a platform where anyone, like that guy who built a bridge in Bihar and is out of bamboos and is charging almost 20 or 40 rupees depending on which vehicle or how you're using it. So that was a marvelous thing to do, and on people already have a problem solving nature. I'm going to say not everyone, but few people already have a problem solving nature. What they lack is the basic infrastructure, like lack of funding, lack of access to proper mentorship, and lack of access to talent. So what the real free market, the platform that we are building basically is that anyone who wants to solve civic problems, come to us. We'll provide you mentorship, we'll provide you with team, we'll provide you with funds, and you just go out and try to address the problem. And if you fail, no matter, doesn't matter, to keep trying. We will provide you all the support. And
Right.
this is basically, we are trying to supplement the efforts that government is supposed to provide. And and how this relates to libertarianism is that this is actually practicing the philosophy that if you believe that people can solve their problems on their own, then you have to support people who are actually solving problems. So if any one of you want to start, say that I want to fix the roads in my area, they are really not up to the standard. So just message, drop a DM to us that this is who I am, this is what I want to do. Then we'll you link you to the right network, and then you will go through the process, and then you can start working on addressing the problem. So this is the system that we are building, that you come into contact with us, and we'll take care of the rest
Right. So, all right.
anywhere across India.
The right. So, okay. So, one thing that could crop up in people's mind is, okay, is this really like, can you make a free market inside a socialist area, right? I mean, like, okay, so you want to build a bridge. Now, what about the permissions for this bridge for that person to build it? How do that work logistically for people to, and how would the RFM actually, where do you get involved with these sort of things?
Yeah, so that's the basic infrastructure that I'm talking about. That getting all these permits and all, we build a team that cares of this stuff. You just actually focus on building and solving the problem. There's all regulatory compliance and things like that. We'll take care of that.
Right. So in a real free market situation, in a real world situation where the free market is, uh, there, I think that external control won't be there
Echo,
where you
echo.
can
Your
just go about.
voice is echoing.
Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. How about now? Is it echoing?
Echoing. Yeah, there are countless examples of people starting initiatives on their own and working towards, or like we have on the Real Free Market Twitter handle, we have countless stories where some vegetable seller, some fruit seller built a school in his village. So villagers pooled in money to upgrade the hospital facilities, and villagers pooled in money to build roads. So all these types of initiatives, the story is simple, that people get frustrated that for this long time the problem hasn't been solved by the government, and they start solving the problem on their own. And this is how free markets work. They don't wait for, like, free markets naturally, those who want to solve problem, they just gather public support and start solving it. While
Hmm.
what happens in socialism is that you have to go up the chain of bureaucracy and convince some politician to fund the things, and so things like that. So we simply say that ignore that, and those who really want to solve problems, we'll take care, we'll support you in any way possible to ensure that you actually deliver on things, as compared to depending on getting elected and just basically politicians are trying what politicians try to do is that they claim that we will solve your problems if we get elected in the government, otherwise we can't. Our idea is that whether we get elected or not, your problems will be solved, because the free market doesn't care about elections, it cares about results. And
Right.
so this is the idea that the entrepreneurial, the 5 to 10% entrepreneurial people that we have, they go out and don't have to worry about don't have to worry about the government interference and things like that, and they actually uh, solve the problems that they care about, whether it's education, healthcare, uh, infrastructure, cleanliness, anything. Just you just take care of actually addressing the problem, as compared to any noise that you have to deal with.
Right. Right. So Pradyot,
Yeah.
I mean, like, is there yeah, let's take the free market initiative for social causes, right? So how is it that you are going about things as of now? Like, are you in the stage of adding people? How is it? Are there groups that people can join? People who are already into doing this already for maybe for a lot of years, and we may not be aware about it. So how can people who are already in this entrepreneurship field, uh, how does real free market create that situation amongst this community? I think it's going to be a
Right.
community, right?
Right.
And probably they
Right.
already exist to some level, but where is real free
Exactly.
market in this?
Exactly. So, yeah, starting with building a platform, we are starting with kind of building a network of these people. So they can be categorized as mentors at some level. They can be entrepreneurs who are building from the scratch, and these mentors can help them. They can be some contributors who might be interested in doing and contributing. So yeah, so we are building a community. And we are also building a platform wherein they can register, and they can basically say what they can do, what their skills are. And people who have been active in the space for quite a time, and they haven't been able to find their community. So this is where we are creating that community. And like Tushar said, right, it's not just polished, something which is, it's totally apolitical in the sense that you work with communities and businesses who are the most affected, and you take them along to solve the problems, directly with their initiative, with their contribution, right? So it's not just something where we are saying that you support this, then only will solve your problem. No, it's for everybody, and
Yeah.
we are there to take you along. Yeah.
Well, what you say makes sense. Like the business and the community will always be involved hand in hand, because if somebody has to reach a shop, there has to be a road for it, right? So if there's no
Yeah.
road to that shop, you're going nowhere. So yeah, that is one critical. It's almost like these protons and neutrons just revolving around
Right.
each other. Without that, and then so what is wrong today? Like why isn't this happening today? Like what you're saying sounds so logical, right? So why do you think entrepreneurs are facing this today, where these kind of problems aren't solved for your everyday lives, like including like basic hygiene, like Tushar was saying?
So, I feel that, a lot of people are doing this in a fragmented way. They are definitely, trying to create a change. And it's not like things haven't been happening, but when we say a for-profit model, right, we want to make it sustainable. We want to make it, something which can, kind of work in a way that is that does not, stop when the funding stops, right? So it has to be made sustainable in that way, and we are figuring out models that we can work on, to solve that, and specifically for social enterprise, social initiatives. So yeah, so that's
Right.
that's my view. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tushar, in an ideal sort of a world, right? Like how do you're from which state are you from? You're from Chandigarh? No, sorry.
Haryana.
Actually, huh?
Haryana.
Haryana, sorry. Okay, so you're from Haryana. Okay, so let's just say free market principles were completely there all over Haryana. Like, what do you envision happening in terms of these kind of social initiatives? What do you expect to happen at its highest level? What do you think will be happening around? Like, how would this ecosystem actually be? So that
Well,
people can visualize what life would be like with, a free market system there.
yeah, I can paint a picture. So suppose you are walking down the street, you see some pothole. You just type on Google pothole guy or something like that. Several options come up. You call, he comes, he professionally fixes the pothole. This is the charge. The community pays, and then he leaves.
Right.
And if you see that there is some lack of cleanliness in a particular area, like the streets are dirty or something like that, or maybe someone is throwing the dust in some area, or there some sort of uncleanliness is going on, you just Google that cleaning public facilities, or any vague any vague Google search term you use. Hundreds of guys come up. You call anyone, and they swiftly come in, swipe the area of the cleanliness, and then leave. And like we can't go in the areas of day-to-day amenities, because that the government is doing it already. But if you find gaps in the area that government is not addressing, you can do that. So next is when you find if you find children who are just roaming around on the streets, and are basically asking for alms. So you just contact the skill development or the entrepreneurship center with that, and hundreds will come up, and they will get in touch with them and show proper guidance to the children that they need to get their upliftment in their career. So basically, any problem you see around, you just Google or search the real free market platform, and then they will take care of it. It relies on people bringing up problems and entrepreneurs finding solutions to address them. So this is the idea that any problem you see, because problems will keep emerging, and but the good thing is that solutions will keep emerging as well. So you just need an interface where problems and solutions can be at the same place, and people can try to solve it. while ensuring that
it is cutting out the
yeah,
middleman
yeah,
for like general everyday issues that people could face while commuting or whatever. It's just cutting out. But what
yeah.
about bigger problems, right? Okay, there's flooding during rains.
Yeah, yeah.
Very,
So yeah,
you
so
know,
flooding. If yeah, flooding. If you need, suppose suppose you are in some area that is prone to flooding, you just go on the internet, search for whatever life support companies are there, and they'll come and rescue you.
No, I mean it's not about rescue. Like for example, like I think in Bangalore they have found out that because of certain illegal buildings, water
Yes,
is getting blocked. Example, right?
yes, yes.
So what about for larger scientific solutions? How would one go about,
Oh, so
using?
so in
Yeah,
addressing those problems can come under the purview of something like I don't know the exact term, but maybe something like declogging tech or something like that. Because what is it? What talking about first principles? What is a flood? Basically, water staying at that area and not going through the drains. So you just need to focus. You just need to address the mechanism where it flows through the drains and the streets are clear. So
so
technology is developed
we
under that.
don't seem to have enough solution providers
Yeah.
for these kind of areas, right? And
Yeah,
uh,
that's the beauty of the
See,
real free market. That's the beauty of the free market. That you may not know all the solutions, but you definitely, if you put out the problem, there are hundreds of people out there who are looking just to solve problems. I mean to say, all these engineers and nerds looking out for making the world a better place. But right now, the mechanism is that you become a politician, then you use the government and bureaucrats to try to solve the problem. We just cut the loop, and you just join the real free market platform, directly address the problem. And who knows what sort of, maybe the solutions are digital, maybe the solutions are physical, who knows. But still, if given the proper chance and the proper platform, the results will
right.
be way better. Basically, you
So
are building a better interface for connecting with the society and solving its problems.
So real free market in essence is, I don't know if a community like this exists. Is there anything that you guys have seen already? I mean, are there members of such communities that exist already? Like, or is this something that you're building for the first time, like in India per se? Where there are social entrepreneurs, I think, working with probably contributors or members and things like that, like a community like that. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think we have communities like these. We have must be having communities for social entrepreneurs. I come across them. At times, but the thing is that the motive is quite different. The motive here is uh, since, like Tushar said about declogging, why so many people do not take it up as a solution, because they don't see a revenue model out of it, and they don't see VCs backing them, and they think this is not our like they say, it's not, they do not have the jurisdictional access to it, right? Because it's the municipality's work, or something else. So why would
Right.
they want to do it, right? When you try to bring in communities and get them to solve problems, and then hire these guys, that's where you solve the problem, and the communities will take that initiative. It will also require some level of community activation. So yeah, so it's work on both the sides, actually.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm just trying to see how things are going to work, right? So, again, let's come back to the ideology of someone who has, at the moment, has anybody come up with certain problems that they want to solve? For example, from the farming sector, for example, that's also taking a lot of chunk of space in the news these days. So, will real free market change the way innovation is done in farming? Like, what's the deal there? How do you see things changing for entrepreneurs who are looking at organics like that?
Yeah, so we already have some members who are into agrotech and things like that. So the idea is that there are small patches of success in different areas. It isn't like countrywide agriculture sector is down. There are small patches of success, like in some remote village of Maharashtra, they have found out some new technique that they are using maybe for sugarcane production, or maybe they have increased some area in Haryana where they have figured out how to do hydroponics well in that area. So there are small, or someone has figured out how to extract biogas at a good cost. So there are isolated pockets where success is taking place, but what the real free market intends to do is that those who have already succeeded, their model gets copied or adapted to areas that need them more, that need them as well. So the idea is that we act as a connector between those who are already succeeding and don't have enough capital, or maybe aren't interested. Or anyways, but the point is that those who want to learn from them can join us, learn from your learn from those who are already succeeding, and then implement the ideas in your sector.
Right, right. So, Pradyut, like, what are there any cases that from the community? Let's talk about. I think there is an existing community of a few hundred people, right, who are in the real free market community at the moment. What's the vibe like? Like, what kind of problems are they talking about? In the WhatsApp group. So. I think we should give an invite as well to the Real Free Market Community Telegram group, right? Telegram and WhatsApp as well, or how is that?
Yeah, so we have a group on Telegram. We have a group on WhatsApp as well. So right now we are trying to connect entrepreneurs with like-minded people, with people who can mentor them, people who can probably work with them for like there was some of the health entrepreneurs. Basically, they were working on mental wellness programs, and these were psychologists as well, and we tried connecting them to a few people who could do offline meetups for them, and those things. So we are working on the things like these, like your podcast has been a great help for these entrepreneurs who have come or on this. You have featured them, and they've been able to.
They have been a great help to my podcast. I don't have any other content otherwise.
Right. Yeah, so it works both ways. Yeah. So yeah, so that is the ecosystem that we are trying to create, right? To bring people together who are interested in helping each other out, and um, and people who are contributing to these causes, to these initiatives, also find jobs sometimes. So they can find an internship or a job which will convert to a job, or something like that. So we are also looking at that angle, wherein we can try to get more people find the right job for themselves. So yeah, that
Right,
is
right.
also, yeah, yeah,
Okay, that whole idea of incorporating your closeness to these issues and trying to solve them at that grassroots level, I think is a big thing as well.
exactly. Exactly,
So
because
yeah,
just wanted to add one point, because at the initial level, it's whoever is there, you do not see the community growing all on its own, right? So you have to intervene, and you have to set the right process, and and individually look at each person's needs and try to solve them. So yeah, it's a lot of manual work as well.
so are there any successful startups in this area where you see which are the are there any examples of that come to mind? Uh, when I say successful, like I mean like something that's being adopted across their locality or something like that. Any success stories?
So right now, since we are yet to go on ground, so yeah, we are definitely, we see a lot of success stories, wherein we want to enable those success stories, to more frequently, and make them happen, in a lot of different areas. But then we are still in the community building stage, and we are still in the stage wherein the founders we work according to the needs of the people who are joining the community, and that's how we are trying to build it. But yeah, soon I believe there will be success stories, and we have started with the podcast, and we'll be bringing more people who have already worked on these aspects, and they'll be sharing those success stories with you. So yeah, so this is
Right,
just a
right.
start. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's great. Any are there anything you guys can say about the new platform that's coming up? Like, what can people expect, like in terms of any features, or what can people expect to be doing on the platform, on the real free market platform? I'll mention
Sure,
that.
sure. So For to start with, they can register themselves in the directory that we have, and they can register themselves as an entrepreneur or a contributor or a mentor, and they can list their skills, the business they have, the kind of other aspects to it. They can the features that they can use are related to the ability to create topics on a forum, the ability to list their businesses and projects related to those businesses. Let's say there is a social cause and they are looking for to promote it. They are looking at some kind of funding for it. They are looking at forming a team. So posting jobs, and they are looking at mentors. So all of that can happen in the same place, and so that is about projects. We have a forum there wherein they can discuss, burning topics and something which is of great concern. But then, yeah, and to help
Okay,
each other
so
out that way.
people can see each other, right? So this is going to be like a public directory, or is it going to be only for members or something like that? Like how do you think anybody will be able to come and see who these entrepreneurs are
Yeah.
and who the members of the platform are as well? Is that how
Yes.
would that work?
Yes. They will
Okay,
all be able to see, who are the people in the directory. But to interact, you would need to log in. You would need to register yourself either as an entrepreneur or a contributor, mentor, or of some kind. So
right.
those are the things, and we are also letting people create events. So if they want to build a local community of their own, so they can do it using real free market, and we
Oh,
are
so
trying
they
to,
can,
yeah.
it's like a city hall, right? You can go there and you can
Yes, yes,
discuss your life's problems there,
yes.
and it'll be the new pub that people will want to go to and hang out to things. So,
Yeah, you
all
cannot
right,
be endless. You cannot endless be droning about problems and not doing anything about it.
correct.
So
Okay.
we are just giving an outlet that if you are so interested in solving this problem,
Right. So
here,
there'll be the
give it a try.
problem pointers, and then there'll be the problem solvers who will,
Yeah.
try to figure out. So, right. So, I mean, there are some, I would say, myths about, free markets, like in general as well. Like, for example, a lot of people say that hey, if you allow anybody and everybody and crowd the market of some sort, then it will give rise to just one superpower or two superpowers or something like that. What is it something that is real? Like, for example, right now in telecom, okay, there are just two, right? So will that happen in a real free market scenario, like in general?
No, real free markets, disruption keeps happening all the time, and incumbents are always under threat of upstarts kicking them out of their top position and taking the industry to new heights. But when you have artificial intervention in the markets, where basically government ends up granting monopolies to businesses, that is where you have big players, because only they are able to interact with the government and whatever, and lobby the government to ensure that the new players don't come in and have the finances to keep the things going, so and make it difficult for upstarts to start the business. So
So in a
in
free
real
market scenario, uh, the the government intervention will not be there, or
no no,
how does that work?
government
What are the
intervention,
points of intervention
yeah.
by
So
any authority?
yeah, there will be basic rules which facilitate the game rather than inhibiting it. That's it. That's where the role of the government ends. It is basically the referee. It won't be taking sides, and it's up to the players how they play the game and
What about
how they
regulations
win.
like taxes? What about regulations like taxes, or
Yeah,
let's say
regulations.
we
Regulations, there can be a mix of public and private bodies that are regulating, and taxes, it is much more preferable to have voluntary contribution as compared to, because voluntary contribution just for keeping the administration going, and if you have some particular problem that you need to address, like you want to build some infrastructure project, like you want to build some school or something, you raise bonds that I believe that this university or this school will be good for the community, and then you raise money from the public. And if they believe that, yeah, this is your pitch is right, then they'll chip in, and if they don't believe it, then they don't chip in, because these blank check tax implementations, tax these blank check tax uses just end up wreaking public debt and lead to a whole lot of wastage. So if anyone wants to do projects he believes that are good for the community, raise the fund like normal entrepreneurs do.
Right.
Don't piggyback
Okay.
on don't piggyback
Okay.
on the
So
government.
everybody is working on on a similar set of rules of including government, and everybody is kind of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
flat
yeah.
system
Yeah,
where
everyone, if
everybody.
you have to, you are in a democracy, you have to convince the people that this is the just cause and please back me.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
cannot
Right.
force people to do things that they do that are against their interest.
Right. So Pratyot, I mean, in terms of technology as such, right, AI, blockchain, and all of that, how is the tech industry going to play a role in free markets such as this, especially for solving civic problems, right? Like, how do we get them on board? They're the ones with like certain means of and abilities to not only communicate, but they also have probably have the funding power as well. So how is this working now?
So, recently we had some few people who came up with the idea of, creating better efficient model using blockchain tech for cooperatives and, for the governance and for voting and, other functions. So yeah, these are the things, wherein we can use technology and make it more efficient for these the traditional organizations to operate. So there's a group which is researching on that, and we want to enable those things. So if you have a cooperative which has better uh, you know um, that rewards its members in a better way, in a more efficient way, and they are able to vote on every necessary basically a decision to be made, and they are able to do it efficiently, have all the members have their say in it, and kind of feel that like they are part of this organization, and they are not only when they are contributing to it, they are getting rewarded in the same proportion. So creating such systems for these organizations to operate is one way I feel we can go ahead, and we can improve using technology, improve and it is. So yeah, with cooperatives, the outlook is to work on social causes, because most cooperatives are owned by communities, and that's where you see
Right.
a lot of potential to tap into social initiatives and work on social causes.
Right. So basically, technology is a key leveler of this problem solving, right? You really need to leverage some form of technology to solve your problem and solve it quickly and possibly solve it. But we do have a large IT force, right? Like IT force. Web3 is what, AI is one. What I'm trying to find out is how does this community sort of really attack these problems? Is there like a problem board that they are seeing as well that they can solve, with a platform like Real Free Market, for example, like where, like let's say I'm an AI guy. Now, how could what are the different areas that I would be looking at to sort of use my skills to develop this? Or it could be any
Right.
area, right? So,
Yeah. So, with any initiative, if a person who has started that project, if they're looking for, someone like that, so they can, mention the skills that they require, and, the people that they might need to, build that project. And, if people from these forces, they, the IT force, or the people who are working in AI or Web3, they want to contribute to it. They can come on board as a contributor. So that is one way they can see how they are getting rewarded for it. So there's an option to reward these people as well, and work on it. So right now we are also working on events like hackathons, and planning those, and creating some topics, or making something of prime focus, wherein these entrepreneurs can come in, and basically contributors can also come in and contribute in the best way possible. And connect them to VCs or connect them to angels who are, at the end of the hackathon, if there's a winner, they can basically go forward with that, basically their idea and the potential they have.
Right. So in general, so let's take a look at real free market scope right now, right? So what type of entrepreneurs do you think should come towards and talk to you guys regarding solving? So one is maybe infrastructure, I think, is one. Then what else? What are the other civic issues that if people haven't been thinking about this, maybe they can start thinking about it now. Like what are these problems that we are talking about that can be solved with an initiative like this? And any thoughts on that, Tushar and Pradyut?
Heuristically speaking, I would say we can list all the categories, but basically things that you expect the government to do, but they can't do it, and you have a better solution for it, or things that NGOs are doing but aren't doing good enough. So they can be in the field of education, they can be in the field of infrastructure, they can be field of healthcare. So any of the endless fields in where civic life is involved, and the government is supposed to take care of it, and NGOs are trying to supplement it but can't deliver.
Right.
So
So
like
okay.
giving us like giving a simple example, like suppose the lake in your area is dirty and is dying, and you need to do something about it. So we have the story in Salem where basically people gathered, got the permissions, crowdfunded the entire thing, and revived the lake on their own. And it cost the government. First, they went to the municipality, and municipality said that we would require almost 1.5 crore or something like that, and so they simply couldn't do it. And because obviously the municipalities are the most underfunded institutions in India. So the people decided that we will crowdfund it and solve it on our own. They gathered crowd support, pulled in the resources it called, and funnily enough, it almost cost almost 1/5 of the government budget. So they did it in 30 lakhs, and now that lake is up and running. And so
But
these sort of
but
stories, yeah,
at the end of the
things
day,
that
though, if the government had done it, then there wouldn't have been a cost on the citizens, right? Uh, Technically, in this case.
uh,
But I
yeah,
mean, they're
but
not going to do it, but oh, it will
yeah,
come out of taxpayers' money. That's how the
yeah. So
rotation
you
works. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so you have the choice between letting the lake die or waiting for the government to do something about it. So
Right,
which path do you want to choose?
right.
That's why
So let's see
eventually
the
eventually the case will be made for the scenario that is really taxes worth it if people are solving problems on their own.
right. So let's see like where the boundary lies. So all right. So I'm from a small village, and there is some clay pot that has been there for centuries that these people know how to make it now or something like that, an artifact of some kind. That does this also fall under the purview of being like a civic entrepreneur, like talking about your culture, or where is the line drawn? And for an entrepreneur to really understand, like what comes under your civic nature. Does preserving culture, is that also a part of it? Or if a lot of people ask, are you going to incorporate it? Like how
Yeah,
will
yeah.
that work?
So problem like these. There are there are government programs where they try to promote handicraft and things like that. So it naturally means that the people expect to promote businesses that are really niche in nature. So naturally, this becomes sort of not exactly a civil problem, but adjacent to it, because there are communities involved that require government infrastructure to address this problem. So this is where this is where marketing companies and distribution companies come into distribution startups come into play. That we'll bring in the orders and distribute and send them to the party who has ordered it. So yeah, this can come, but this isn't core to what we are trying to address. We are basically trying to make your localities better,
Right.
But
How
if
about
you're
green
looking at,
energy then? How about green energy and sustainability and
yeah,
solutions like that? Where
green energy is definitely included, because because electricity is a civic utility. So green
that
energy is included in that.
technically that runs on a lot of the green energy runs on power that you're not buying from the government as well, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not buying from different agencies. All right. So Pradyot, like what would you say to people who really want to solve problems, from a civic mentality? Like what would you have to have bitten by a radioactive spider, or can you just be a normal person? And who's going to be getting out there and doing it? Do college students think about it? What do you think? What how would you motivate people to get out there and solve problems?
I feel a lot of people are already trying to solve problems. Is the incentives are misaligned basically. People are already incentivized to do the right things, and they are incentivized to do something where they get funding from, right? So that's where the problem lies, and we have to kind of create a scenario wherein people are incentivized to do the things which are right for the community, or right for overall development, right? So that's one aspect. And apart from that, we do have challenges from the administrative side of things, because people have to, those communities have to come together and work on it. So like I said, it's activating communities, plus getting entrepreneurs and connecting them both. So that's what this platform will cater to. And definitely, we are working towards that,
Right.
both.
So seems to be a very critical part of this. Are you
Yes.
getting any VCs who are interested in saying, "Hey, I want to solve these problems," or are the VCs saying, "No, no, no, I don't want to go there"? Like, what is the mood like for investment into this sector? And can even foreign investors get in on this? Like, how does this work?
So I believe foreign investors can also get in. There are some angels that we are trying to rope in, for this. But the thing is that since this is at a very nascent stage, through hackathons and those things, we will try to bring entrepreneurs, create a network in colleges, work with people who are already enabling, this such kind of ecosystems, with entrepreneurs and colleges, and young students who are trying to do something uh, good, and connect them, and work with them, basically tap their network, utilize their network to also promote our ideas. And so there are angels, there'll be hackathons, there'll be some certain topics wherein we can promote people to think about it and come up with solutions. And those selected solutions will go through our program. There's an accelerator program that we are building. And at the end, you can you can potentially find an angel or a VC. But yeah, that it it
Right.
is
So
all
the idea
part of the
is
process.
the entire ecosystem has to sort of come together, from the reporting of the problem right down to
Hmm.
understanding how to solve it. That middle layer of people who can figure out what the solutions possibly could be,
Yeah,
getting in touch
yeah,
with VCs who can fund these activities and see a model out
right.
of it. Right. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, I think the one of the principles of the free market is, technically, for it to be a sustainable economy, an economy in its own right, right? But without
Hmm.
interference of sorts is what I would think. So, Tushar, any last words as well for people who want to join the free market movement? I think it has started to become a movement because a lot of people, like I didn't have electricity until like 5 minutes before this podcast, so I was also a little worried whether. So it would be nice to actually shop for electricity as well, right? Oh, okay, this guy is giving me 99.9% uptime. I would like to go with this service provider to provide me with electricity as well. So I was thinking along those lines just the way when I started. So I think Tushar, what do you have to say for people to join the real free market? And I think we should on real free market. I think you put up some place where they can join our Telegram channel as well. Right? Those are the ways. How do people go about connecting with us right now before the site is ready, before the app is ready?
Just DM us on the Twitter page, and we'll share the Telegram group link with you.
Right. So the Twitter
Yeah.
page is at Real Free Market IND, correct? At
Yes.
Real
Free
Free
market
Market
IND. Yes.
IND. At
Yes.
so let me just quickly just note that down.
Yeah, it's free market IND.
Oh, it's just
Yeah,
Free Market IND.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
This thing, what it strikes an idea in my, you spoke about for buying energy and everything. With blockchain, being in Web3, I really see that potential, unfolding because unfolding basically. You have you can basically trade the kind of power you can generate. It can be through solar medium, or it can be through any other alternative source of energy basically, and you can create a marketplace using blockchain, and you can trade that. So there are so many things. There are so many
Yeah,
uh,
that was my point of those questions. I feel like the tech is kind of the answer to a lot of these things. If these guys get involved in trying to sort the bird's eye view of the problem, it kind of makes it easier for grassroots level people to activate. There is some kind of safety in power sort of a situation that I feel like
yeah.
only like a blockchain, which unfortunately the technology is like unbelievable because it really radicalizes how and improves upon how everything is done in terms of your financial transaction. But it's earned a bad rap with crypto, with all these unnecessary things. But typically, if these guys can really leverage these sort of things into a free market related initiative for solving civic problems, I think that will be a great thing as well. All right, so you heard it from Pradyut and Tushar today on even though we are in some kind of a non-libertarian system, an amalgamation of various systems right now in terms of our economic policies, but if we are in an actual free market scenario, it actually helps us sort a lot more problems because more people can be entrepreneurs quite easily. More people, can solve micro problems as well. When you have one business trying to solve a problem of an entire system rather than smaller problems like getting together, smaller companies getting together, maybe forming a bigger one, or something like that. That's what the real free market vision is, and it's a great dream to have. The free market is an amazing experience to be in, I think. And those of you who aren't in their groups, just DM them on their Twitter channel, and get into the group so that you can also feel that excitement growing. It grows every day. More and more people join. So again, join us just send us a DM on Free Market Ind, at Free Market Ind again. Just send us a DM on X, and we will take you to your next stages. I'm looking forward to the website as well, and we'll catch up on some other topics. I also wanted to do something on like general free market principles on various sectors as well again. And so everybody, if you have had fun listening to it, I'm back, I think, after a hiatus of 2 months. So we'll be having a lot of podcasts where we'll ask Pradyot a lot more questions again, and Tushar as well. So until next time, thank you guys for joining in the stream.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
guys. Thank you
You
guys.
can solve
Bye.
problems on your own. You don't need the government.
That's the bottom line. Solve problems on your
Yes.
own, and it
Yeah.
can be actually easy to do it because your neighbor might know how to fix a pothole. So
Yeah.
it's like a it's like a huge Airbnb of people who can solve things. That's the world right now.
Yeah. Don't be
So
slave to politicians. You can solve your problems on your own.
there you go, another statement. Don't be a slave to anybody, including
Yes.
politicians.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
All right, you guys.
Free markets
Thanks,
for the win.
thanks. I
Yeah.
know.
All right.
So
See you
follow
guys.
at
Bye.
Free Market Int, and
Yeah.
we'll see you later. Good night.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night.